Thought I was finally rid of you, trying to break free from the ridicule. When I said I was done, that was literal, but everything to you seems trivial. You a demon that's holding me captive, break me down every time I get active. I'm grappling up my bracket, you said, look at me now, I'm the captain. Man.
What's up, RedTop gang, man? We here with another. We got us a conversation we're about to have with the good guy, Mickey Factz. Mickey Factz, welcome. What's up, Mickey? Welcome to the channel, man. How's it going?
Everything's going good, man. I know you up crack ass dawn in the morning. My man,
hey,
got me up, but we here.
Old saying, early bird gets the worm is what they say. It's the old saying. Yes, but now you new to my channel. My channel is kind of young, basically, but it's growing. It's growing. So if you could let the people know who you are, and while at it, explain how you got the name Mickey Factz. We know Factz is proof 100. We can probably get that, but where does the Mickey fall into that?
Yeah, my name is Mickey Factz, man. I'm from the Bronx, New York, hip hop artist and connoisseur. The name Mickey Factz comes from Natural Born Killers. A lot of people think it comes from Disney, but nah, it actually comes from Natural Born Killers. I was watching it one day. With this female MC, we were trying to, come up with names for a group. Okay. And she was like, yo, we should be Mickey and Mallory. And I was like, I've never seen, that movie, Natural Born Killers. So we watched it and I was like, oh yeah, I want to be Mickey. That's going to be my name, And from that point forward, I chose Factz because that's all I wanted to rap about. And, I spelled it with a Z, to be stylish. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. You into? I see you're into style, dress, trend. You set trends. I heard back in 2008 you were in skinny jeans before skinny jeans were really considered fashionable as it is today.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I've been into fashion since I want to say when I first got a job. I mean, like when I first got my job, I went and bought clothes because, my parents couldn't afford it. You know what I mean? Well, they could afford it, but they didn't want to spend it on the stuff that I wanted to get. So, I was wearing Pradas and Dolce & Gabbana. Like I was spending whole checks on that stuff.
At what age was that?
This was like 19, 20 years old. Okay.
Fresh out of high school.
Okay. Had my job and I was just buying clothes. Because I wanted to be fly, you know what I mean? So, and that kind of just trickled over into 05, 06 when I was like, I don't want to dress like everybody else. Everybody else was baggy, so I went the complete opposite way.
So you went straight skinny, or would you say fitted?
Fitted. I was more fitted.
Okay, fitted. So today is skinny, but you say fitted.
Yeah, gotcha. It was weird, right? Like. Hip hop was so baggy that they thought fitted was skinny.
Okay, right.
Now there were artists that were doing skinny jeans, but I was one of the more popular ones, and I was doing fitted. I think I wore skinny jeans maybe twice, and it just wasn't comfortable for me. So I couldn't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So I did fitted, like you know what I mean, and people thought the fitted was skinny.
Gotcha. I recently kind of got into fitted probably within the last few years, so it still feels kind of not weird, but just different. Right. We that's just how we grew up. How old are you?
39.
30. Okay, so I'm 37. So roughly in growing up, it was baggy. It was like once and. The old heads, well, I consider to be an old head at this point. It's not even really that old, but when I guess I have a teenage son who's about to be 19, so I would consider, 19.
Wow.
You just had a kid, huh?
Yeah. First one at 39, I'm wilding out.
Oh, shit. No, you wasn't wilding out.
Oh.
You was reserved.
I was reserved, man. I knew what I was out here doing, man. As young boys, young adults, late teens, once you dive into that, man, with that mindset, when you dive into that, it's chaos, B. It's chaos. And sometimes,
it is.
things happen for young men, and that's why young men sometimes have kids early.
Yeah, and it is. I'm about 5 of them later now.
Five. Wait, you have 5 kids?
Oh,
Oh
yeah,
my gosh! Congratulations!
It's like a gift and a curse.
I
It's a
bet.
gift and a curse. It's one of those. I consider myself a realist, so they'd be like, having kids are a blessing. I was like, and it can be a curse as well. But
Yeah.
you know, it's on me. I own it all. Take care of them and shit like that. My youngest is 1.
What? You said, wait, your oldest is 19 and your youngest is what?
Yeah, 1.
Wow, man. That's
I'm sorry, 2. My bad.
Two.
She turned 2.
Wow. Hey, man, I think I'm done. I might be.
With 1?
I might be done with 1.
Now, how old is your 1?
He's 18 months, maybe 19.
Ooh, okay. So he?
Yeah, it's a boy. It's a boy.
Is he walking?
Yeah, he's walking. He's walking.
You're okay. You're active father. That's big for me. Like, I can't stand having the kids and then just get out the way, basically.
Right. Now he's running. He's walking. I want him to start talking. Everybody says you don't want him to start talking, but
you don't.
Yeah, everybody.
You do it and you don't.
But everybody said they didn't want him. Everybody said, yo, have some time for when he starts walking and running. And I love him walking and running. I want him to walk more. Like, I'm active, you know what I'm saying? Like, I used to, run. I used to do like miles in like 6.5 minutes and things like that. So like,
I gotta go all the way back to high school for them times.
Yeah. I was trying to, I gained some weight during the pandemic, but for me, like, I've always kind of been in shape. So I have no problem chasing him around. It's just holding him. He's so big. It's just like, man.
Yeah, lugging him
around. So I want him to walk. I want him to talk. I want to know what's going through his mind, Yeah.
Hey, so you're into you said connoisseur. So you're into creating businesses, starting businesses, in that realm, basically.
Yeah, so I've done some brand ambassadoring. I haven't really started a business, so to speak. I mean, I guess you could say Mickey Factz is a business at this point. But aside from like the brand of Mickey Factz, I haven't really started any businesses.
Okay.
It's been more so like I've just been doing a lot of brand ambassador work, a lot of consulting work, a lot of projects I've just taken on to help other people do their business and be paid for it.
Okay.
So it hasn't really been me starting a business. I have my thing here. I do want to, do small stuff like books. I want to write a book. I actually have a children's book coming out later this year.
Dope.
And I want to buy a truck. I want to get into trucking.
CDL?
Yeah, I actually, when I'm done with hip hop, I think I want to drive trucks, bro.
I have my CDL.
How is it? How is that?
I haven't. I'm literally at this just 2 days ago. I was like, I think I'm about to start driving. It's like the YouTube ain't really
doing what it's supposed
for me
to
at the point. Yeah, I mean, it's all right, but it's not. I can't maintain basically right now.
Right. I've heard you can make about 80 to 90. Driving. If you're consistent.
More. You can definitely do more.
Wow. Yeah.
You got to be out though. You got to be out and about.
Yeah, that's another thing. I love driving, so I want to preface that. But I don't know if I want to remove myself from the home unit.
That's my problem. That's my problem as well. I worked in the oil field from 2014 to 2019, which means I had 2 kids born during that time, and it's noticeable. The absent time is very noticeable, even still noticeable.
Yeah, I don't want to do that with my son. I mean, I am away when I tour or when I have to go to a city, but when I left I was gone for 10, 11 days in early August. When I came back, that boy was all over me. And
I know.
I love that feeling.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to miss any more days like that, too many days. So
it's a lot.
it is a lot, and you know, he won't understand it until he gets older. But you know, I'm doing my best to kind of get as much money as I can out of hip hop, so I can retire at like 45. That's the plan.
So it was about 6 years.
Yeah, I got like 6 more years, man, left.
So you gonna? I'm done rapping.
I believe so. Yeah, 45. I want to be done. I want to have enough money to invest and live off investments and teaching. I want to teach hip hop.
That's why I say this conversation is gonna pretty much carry itself. Was I had it one way, but that word right there, I just got into investing in last year, basically 2020.
Right.
Started with Robinhood, and that's why I said so at some point we was gonna get there, but we might as well just go there now because
let's go.
I came across this.
Yeah, I see it. Look at that. Yeah.
All right. So I came across this.
Right.
So getting there, basically, like I said, I got into investing in 2020. So I started through Robinhood, little here, little there. Then, you know, there's like Coinbase, which is your cryptocurrencies. Got into there, and I would see increases, and then my problem is not knowing when to get out.
Yeah.
It's not, I've been destroyed because it's like, I guess I'm in between not knowing, am I a short-term investor or a long-term investor? And being a short-term investor, I would get out with a pretty sizable, gains basically. But being long-term, it's up and then it's not.
Right.
I think that's the tough part of it, is not knowing when to get out.
I think at that point, it depends, right? Like I didn't get into Robinhood or Stash or any of that stuff. Like I thought about it, and my boy was telling me, don't ever use that stuff to invest. Use them, TD Ameritrade or E-Trade.
So I have Charles Schwab also, but I use that only for the over the counters, OTCs.
Right. So like I've been doing OTCs, and OTCs. I got some big stock. I had some big stock, and then I got some small stock. Okay. But the goal is to have 3 different money market accounts. One, and it's easy to set up, but I've been trying to fix up some credit so we can buy a bigger house. But I want to have one money market account for penny stocks, which is OTC, another money market account for long-term holds, and then another. And then obviously a Coinbase for crypto.
Okay.
And when it boils down to it, right? Like I feel that investing, there's so many different ways to invest, right? Like there's such thing as options. You can outright buy a stock. You can do dividends, which, gives you way more return on your money in terms of long-term savings accounts. I have a high yield savings account currently.
So when you say high yield, what is high?
Man, at this point, man, actually, you know what? Let me actually
because they call high yield, they'll be like 1%, and I'm like,
yeah, I think mine's is about less than that. I think mine's might be 0.50.
And that's kind of where I got with, because I was just saving money in the savings account, and I was like. That's kind of where I started to understand. Like you hear this phrase growing up that let your money make money for you,
right?
And it was like they say just save your money, put it in the savings. Don't just let it sit. But how is that making money? So that's when it started to make sense. Where it's like you need to get into investing. Yeah, investing is letting your money make money for you,
right? Investing in dividends. I just learned about dividends like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Dividends, they pay out like with anywhere between 4 to 8%.
Right. And sometimes higher.
Sometimes higher, depending on how much money you put into something. And this is how people get wealthy. People don't really get wealthy from saving money. People don't get wealthy from things like that. They get money in the market. The market is where you get wealthy, right?
Right.
It's a shame that, a lot of Black people and a lot of us are finding out about this now.
So you say 39, 37, and yeah,
Yeah, I learned about, the market at around 36. And I've always wanted to get into the stock market, but it was very difficult to maneuver, mostly because it was guarded from us. When you consider when we would watch television, right? And I think every black person can relate to this. If we ever watched the news and we saw those tickers at the bottom with all those numbers, we didn't care about no tickers at the bottom.
What is that?
It was like Chinese arithmetic, and nobody ever kind of came into our neighborhoods to let us know about this stuff.
Exactly.
You didn't learn about it in school. You didn't learn about it, at work. They just
nowhere.
They just tell you, you have a pension. You could buy into it and things of that nature. But there was no thought process on how to do it. People didn't run into stock traders. People
not at all.
Brokers, nobody knew anything about that shit.
Like even me knowing what I know now, it's because of all the markets that are out now. So even when I try to think back, I was like, in say 2009, how would someone go about investing? Like where did you go? Where did you go to come across a broker and get your money into something to be able to get it in and get it out when necessary? Basically, it was like, where did we do all that?
I think there were movies that led to this knowledge, like The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yep. Great movie.
Wall Street in general, Money Never Sleeps with Shia LaBeouf, and I forgot I don't want to say Michael Keaton, but whoever that other guy was. Like, those movies were the only ways we could learn about it. And honestly, I feel like what that movie Wolf of Wall Street did, right? It showed that brokers didn't care about your money. If you weren't spending big bucks, they didn't care. So they didn't bother to do OTC stocks and things of that nature. They didn't care about stuff like that because a lot of that stuff would be startup companies. So if I had $1,000 and I wanted to go into the market, into like the real market at the New York City Stock Exchange, I couldn't do nothing with $1,000. Those guys is dealing with millions of dollars all the time.
Right.
You know? So and they're handling so many different people's money. So you can't just walk into the New York Stock Exchange and give somebody $1,000 and say, "Can you invest this?" You couldn't do that in the 80s and in the 90s.
Right.
You would need
even in the 2000s.
Even in 2000s, you would need at least 10 grand to even make somebody consider you wanting to do something. And again, this conversation is really interesting because could you imagine if like drug dealers took their money to the stock exchange?
Crazy.
I think that's actually a song. I think I could do a song out of that. Right?
I'm sure you could. I mean, just real quick, you dropped this right here.
Oh yeah. That's
this is kind of what made me
money saver, the TD Ameritrader, the Robin Hood hater, the home bidder, the 25% wrong tipper, the Grant Cardone listener, the loan flipper, the contract getter, the check collector, the debt oppressor, the Turo user who worked as Tesla, the stock watcher, the options copper, the block shopper, the future yacht docker, the car lot plotter, the business owner, the deal closer.
That right there is why I said I tended to come and talk rap, but I feel this is more important to our community because when you listen to rap today, whether it's rap, battle rap, there's very few that's giving the youth actual knowledge that's needed coming up. They don't teach this in school.
No, they don't. They don't.
I heard you mention Turo in there. That's basically the Airbnb of rental cars, basically.
Yes.
It's not known. I literally just learned about that today. I don't think it was from this. It was something else. But I just listen. I look and I research now. Like, and then I try to give it to my kids. Like I could just start there, basically. But it's like it's so much that is not talked about. So you listen to rap, especially mainstream. It's drugs.
Yeah,
sex,
Yep.
How much jewelry I could put on, how many houses, like, it's owning houses is obviously great because that's basically, you can build wealth through real estate basically, but
Yes.
it's not talked about. Everything you just talked about there is how you build wealth. TD Ameritrade, Turo, basically renting out cars basically. What'd you say, the 25% room tippers?
Yeah.
I was like, man, just that little clip was like, I was mind blown. Now the crazy thing about that little clip is I was like, okay, my man's talking here, so let me see what else he has out here.
Self more credit than that, just tell them the facts. That's when I start remembering back. Working at a law firm, sorting mail in the back, going to work very poor. I'm making 20K at 24.
Going to work very poor. It's like, no matter how hard you work, how much you work, at the end of the day, you're making a fraction of what the people up top are making. Every job is a pyramid scheme, basically.
Yes.
So you come in on this level, you might move up, but it's somebody always at the very peak that's really making the big bucks of it.
Right.
Because even if you say a job is paying you $30 an hour, you think they're paying you 50% of what they're making?
No.
They
paying you a little bit of bread. It's interesting, right? When you consider that, and I really want to, I'm not saying that I want to be like this financial literacy guru in hip hop, but I do feel like I have a lane with that people kind of love and appreciate. And that freestyle, I was telling you this in the DMs, that freestyle. Well, this one right here was, with my guys, Rashad and Troy,
right.
They asked for that, you know what I'm saying? They was like, yo, do something on entrepreneurs. And I was like, all right, watch this. But that joint I did on Drink Champs, that joint is like 3 minutes long. And
so when's the rest coming?
Man, I did it with my guy, Ash Cash. I was hoping that he dropped it this week.
Okay.
But it looks like he's gonna probably drop it next Tuesday or something like that.
Okay.
And it's magnificent. I got too drunk on Drink Champs to finish it, but that was one of those joints where it was heavy. It was heavy.
I mean, so that's kind of what got, and I was like, okay, man, is this the first time? And I was like, let me take a look out here, man. And it was like, you have several. From here, I heard you mention in the beginning that you started a freestyle on
Credit.
Credit, but you started on another show basically. This wasn't the first show.
This was the second one. The first one was on Funkmaster Flex.
Right.
I rapped about credit on Funkmaster Flex.
This, you rapped about how to start a business. You rapped the good and bad of starting a business.
Yes.
And it was like, this is what we need, Mr. Factz. This is what the community needs. This is what us as the black, I won't say black culture, but as black people, this is the shit that we really need to be hearing, and this is the shit we're not actually going to hear without a push from somewhere.
That's why I only do it on big platforms, because I know these big platforms it's going to get eyes on them.
Right.
On them. So I do my best to pack enough knowledge in like 3 or 4 minutes so that people could kind of get a gist of, what it is that, we as people need to be doing.
That was crazy. Both of them were crazy, but it's just like, I was like, man, this is just the shit right here. This is the shit that this is the shit we actually need. That I actually think they need to teach this shit in school, starting from middle school, where you have some type of degree to be able to grasp what's being said and let it start stick. You stick us with everything else. Christopher Columbus discovered America. You stick us with that. So imagine if you stick us with how credit works. You get it's to put you in debt basically.
Yeah, that's
how student loans work. It's to put you in debt basically. Everything that's just given to you,
right, is
designed to put you in debt basically.
Yeah. That's what it's designed as. I mean, and because they know that unless you're like investing, or unless you come out of school with a job waiting for you, making $100,000, $120,000, that credit is always going to loom over your head. And I saw that, when I went to school, right? Like that they was trying to give me credit cards, and I saw that my tuition was so high, and I was like, why is this so high? It didn't make sense to me. I left. You know, I got out of school, you know, and I know the things, I mean, I'm paying off some credit right now. I could pay it off in like another 2 months. But you know, before all of that, like it was tough. It was tough. And if it's tough for me, it's tough for everybody else.
I have student loans I haven't paid a dime on since 2002.
Yeah, they need a forgiveness program for people. I feel like, you know, it's
deferment and forbearance is not enough.
It's not.
It's not enough.
I agree. Yeah, I'm working on a project called the Dinner Table.
Okay.
And that project is basically, you know, it's basically talking about the things that we didn't talk about at the dinner table as Black people. We talked about
I like that.
We talked about the Bulls, maybe in Living Color, maybe Martin.
Yeah.
Other races were talking about owning businesses and credit and the stock market and real estate and things like that. So I was like, you know what, this is one of those things where I want to do something with music, right? That, you know, we're gonna talk about this stuff. We're gonna talk about this and make it cool to do. Let me see. I'm gonna play something.
I like just the name because, you know,
this is a beat, right? I'm gonna play. This is an exclusive, right? But I just want to show. I want to show people where I'm going with it, you know, when we do this project.
Classic.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So that's crazy.
We trying to take it there with it, you know. We want to give back to our communities in a positive way. You know, I'm all Black going into 2022. Black finance, Black art, Black music, Black culture, Black love, Black fashion, everything Black. Like that's
right.
What it is.
That's I back on, you say you call it Dinner Table.
Yeah, the Dinner Table.
That name is just like, you could just see it, Dinner Table, like, because it, you know, there's barbershop talk. You know, you say there, you go to the Math Hoffa has his shit set up in a barbershop.
Right.
Which we're getting ready to go there. Well, so Math Hoffa is set up in the barbershop. So there's always been barbershop talk that you've known and engaged in since, you know, teenagers, when you was able to start talking, especially basketball, sports. They talk women. That's all in the barbershop. So Dinner Table is where you say barbershop talk's not allowed. You're not going to talk all that in front of your mom, your dad, and, you know, all that. So I like that. I think that's genius, actually. Dinner Table. This is where we talk about everything we need to talk about for growth.
Yes.
I like that.
Absolutely.
So Matt Hoffa came up, barbershop talk. There was I was watching that, and this is when I realized, like, your level of music knowledge and how everything breaks down was just like far and above where I'm at, basically.
Right.
And it's just different. So what some may not know is they may have just come across you from the diss track with Royce, but what some may not know is you're a battle rapper as well, or at least have battle rapped. I don't know if you classify yourself as a battle rapper.
Yeah, I don't really classify myself as one, but I've done it. I've done it 2 or 3 times. It's exciting.
Gotcha. So I seen what I thought was a classic with you and DNA. That was I thought it was crazy. I have DNA very high in battle rap, and I don't think he gets enough credit for it, actually.
I would agree with that. It was a pretty good match, and he is one of those guys that's, you know, pioneered and led the way to be a legend in that culture. And then
so you will consider him a legend then?
Absolutely.
Mount Rushmore?
Not for me, but for others potentially, yes.
Got you. So you basically understand the music, the rap game from the battle rap side as well as the industry side.
Yes.
So in this barbershop talk, screen coming through again.
Okay.
In this barbershop talk, there was this segment right here. Do you remember what was happening right here?
I'm guessing this is we're talking about the Luigi Bar.
Yeah. The Luigi Bar. Now there was something specific you said in there. I was like, you said a 12 bar couplet. I was like, what is a couplet?
Yeah, COUPLET couplet.
So there was this, like, so math. They didn't think the Luigi Bar. Well, they didn't think the whole. I don't think they liked the whole song. Some of them in there, and I think Sky Zoo's on the other side.
Yes.
So you and Sky Zoo seemed to think that it was very technical. It was very well technical and very well put together. So this was you right here in this moment, just to bring it back.
Don't check it out. Let me get it out. First of all, he did some shit that niggas in battle rap don't do.
What's that?
He did a 12-bar couplet.
Thank you.
He did a 12.
Who was that said thank you?
That was Gaddis.
Okay, she was like, thank you. Like, hey, talk to him.
Bar couplet. Y'all niggas be stuck.
What? Mickey
ready. So I think what happens here is there's battle rap and then there's industry. And I think battle rappers think that industry guys can't do what they do.
Right.
And I think that's you kind of took a little offense to that. And then you had
I did, man. I feel like, I think battlers are very talented guys and what they do from a technical standpoint. Most of what they base everything on is the purity of hip hop and metaphor and simile and entendre. But there are guys that do it in hip hop and are extremely talented, and they don't just focus on one style of hip hop. So I said Luigi brother, right? And it was 5, right? But he really did 6. It was like Luigi brother now, right? And he did it for like 12 bars. And a lot of MCs in the battle culture don't really do that. Like, I wouldn't say that all of them don't do it, like, but it's a very small handful, right? And most of them come from, the king of the dot side, like, a thesaurus or a Ilmac or a disaster, right? Like, they'll do it. I was speaking more so to the street culture of it, where it's a 4-bar sequence, and it's mostly 3-bar. It's a 3-syllable couplet. And that's what it typically is, right? Because they're more so focused on the punch to get the crowd engaged. It's not about the rapping anymore, and that's what really intrigued me about the culture. It was about rapping, but it's kind of devolved a little bit from that, and at least that's what I felt in that video right there.
So how do you break down what a couplet is? Is it a bar?
Yeah. It's a bar.
Okay.
That's all it is. He did it for 12 bars.
Okay, and so he read. So that I thought that song was fire, and I thought that whole scheme. Until I watched this and heard you break it down, I personally didn't even realize how technical it was. Like when you say Luigi brother, now,
yeah,
all I heard was Luigi brother.
Yeah, Luigi brother.
So how fast do you hear that and process that? Is it several listens, or do you just know what you're listening to?
I know what I'm listening to. I can't speak for other fans, but I know exactly what I'm listening to when I hear something, and that's kind of what excites me as a hip hop artist. When I hear them do things that I like to do, and that get me inspired to want to attempt that. And he did it. Him being at this level that he's at, he's still able to kind of showcase his skill set. And I felt like battlers, in this, especially in this clip, like Math and even D-Rec that's next to me, like for them to just kind of downplay what J. Cole did on this song because of what they do, it was like, I'm not feeling that. Yeah,
and that's kind of from just seeing how you interact and you engage. That's kind of what To me, that's just that. Like, we don't have to shit on it just because we feel we may do it better.
Right.
It doesn't mean he didn't do it.
Right. And I think that was that was how I was viewing it. It was confusing for me to see them just talking down on, what Cole was doing. And I maintained my stance, and I was very passionate about it.
Very, very. So that I like that. But now the first time that I can actively recall that I heard Mickey Factz was with who you say is your bro.
Oh, Lupe.
So
yeah.
And then there was also Daylight on that stage as well. Now this show right here.
Over your head, I make you look up bars like you're sober instead. I'm on the way to.
Got the hat going. So this was the first time that I think I really got an introduction to Mickey Factz. And then I start, because I watch battle rap. So then I start, okay, he's a battle rapper. But no, he's an artist who battle raps.
Right. Yes. Because at that point in 2015, I think I only had one battle out. And I think that was with Danger Zone.
Right.
So, but I had, obviously I had like tons and tons of projects and music and songs out, touring with Lupe. Like that was the first day that Daylight met Lupe. I introduced them to Lupe that night.
So you actually bring people together.
That's what I do. I bring people together. I try to.
I appreciate that mainly for myself as well, because like I'm considered a small YouTube channel, but yeah, you didn't hesitate to say, yeah, I'll do a show with you, and I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Bringing people together goes back to the financing and shit like that. Like it's what's needed. Like if everyone comes together, it's so much more that we can do together than we do apart. Basically,
I agree.
That's that. Naturally, we're gonna have to talk about this shit right here.
Okay.
So you drop, is it Wraith or Rap?
Wraith.
Okay, Wraith. What does Wraith mean when you made the title? We hear the car.
Yeah, that's the
I know. Okay.
That's the name of the song. The name of the song is Wraith because that's the name of the car.
Okay.
And as I was looking at the name of the car, I was like, oh, the word wrath. The word wrath is in this.
That's what I wanted to get at. Wraith or wrath. Wrath means destruction. So you finna destroy some, which
wrath. When I saw the word wrath and wraith, I was like, that's what we're gonna focus on. We're gonna focus on our WRATH. We're gonna make those words bigger than the letter I. And the letter I will stand for Royce the 5'9", standing at 5'9". That I is supposed to stand at 5'9", and the wrath is supposed to be my anger, much taller.
Oh, so that's that's just some stuff you can't get just being the observer. That's some shit that only the person that's doing it knows what it is.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
So my whole perception of I kept getting confused with Royce during all this, because I kind of watched it from the beginning. Right. Even from Lupe and Royce starting the podcast and everything.
Right.
And what I kept being confused is Royce kept saying that you and Lupe kept interjecting yourselves into the conversation, but the conversation started with a group off of a tweet. The tweet. So if it started off of a tweet, was it Ransom's? Not RJ Payne's tweet.
It was RJ Payne's tweet. Yes.
Okay, so if it started off of a tweet, and then there's this group, it seemed like the conversation started with everyone. So it wasn't anyone interjecting themselves into the conversation. It started with everyone.
Well, he feels like I injected myself into it, because when RJ made the tweet, Royce was already posting his incredible mixtape, Bar Exam 4. He was posting that stuff, talking about, what he was talking about. And then it just so happens that RJ tweeted him and Ransom were the best rappers at that time that were rapping. And Royce responded on a post saying, I don't I don't want to misconstrue or say what he didn't say, but there's a post that he made about that tweet. And then RJ responded back, you know, and his response was a little, I felt like his response was a little like he was a little disappointed that somebody would kind of feel that way. And I decided that I was like, yo, I guess you could say I did inject myself, but I wanted to make sure everybody understood everybody's point. That's what I want, because when you text and you tweet, you don't really get a sense of how someone feels, right?
Right.
And I didn't want it to get weird and awkward. So I felt like they needed to kind of speak to each other, you know. And
so you brought them on?
I brought them together.
That's what Mickey does. Bring people together.
I brought everybody together.
Okay.
And by me bringing everybody together, I felt that it was a great thing to do, right? And I think the people enjoyed that initial conversation and the conversations that followed.
I thought it was dope. I thought, like, I was tuned in, like, regardless of what was going on. I'm a big Lupe fan.
Right.
So I kept saying every time Lupe from the very, I don't know, I did a video of how Lupe and Royce started out. Maybe I sent it to you, maybe if you want to check it out after. But I did it how it all started out, and I did up until where I felt that it went left, and I didn't understand why. I personally didn't understand why Royce just kind of, a lot of people say Lupe, but I felt it was Royce personally. Because I watched all the lives, and every live Lupe's energy maintained pretty much exactly the same. So again, like I said, to me, I know you're wholesome. If you ride with somebody, you ride with them. You ride with them, basically. So this clip this is part of my video, basically. I got this clip right here where you say bring Lupe in, and you're like, that's my bro. Like, you always made that stood. Like, regardless of what y'all saying on, that's my bro. We not gonna bash him, bring him on.
Right.
My brother, man. Where you at, Lou? Hold on.
So he comes in.
So he can come in here and fucking do more talking than rapping.
Royce right there. It's like, so he can come in here and do more talking and rapping. But to this point, even at this point, the only one who has really rapped on here was Lupe.
Yes.
So how are we saying so he can do more talking and rapping and no one else has rapped?
Right.
Now, there was something else that caught my attention in this, and it's fun because I noticed that everyone else during this was laughing, having a good time, even once Lupe comes in. And I noticed you're sitting up here eating. Like, I felt it was real boss-like. It was like all this drama and shit going on around me, and I'm just chopping it up. But what was it, a steak?
I was eating steak. Yeah,
man, I was like, that's like some Sopranos type shit right there. But let me see.
Listen, man.
Here we go. Put a shirt on. Put a shirt on. Put a shirt on first.
Chest naked. Why the fuck?
This is how he's been every time.
Oh, shit. Why the fuck?
Laughing. Everyone's laughing.
The niggas keep bringing this up.
Lou, put a shirt on, bro. You ain't got no damn hair on your chest.
But if you want to make a professional fool of your motherfucking self running up against a demon, go ahead. Right?
And even that comment, I still just felt that was competitive, basically. Hey,
it was rap. That was rap.
So if you want to make a professional fool of yourself going up against a demon, go ahead. I was like, it was nothing disrespectful in there. It was nothing of as I say, Royce took offense, but why?
I ain't pushing your buttons.
We pushing the buttons.
Lux and them.
You know what I find interesting about this? Stop it.
Yeah.
Guru was like, we're pushing the buttons. We're pushing.
He said that.
And you know, nobody has said anything to Guru, right? Nobody said anything to Lux. Nobody said anything to Mook, right? It's all on me and Lupe.
Right.
Right. And as you can see, I'm eating. I'm not even saying anything. I'm chilling.
Laughing, like it was fun. It was like, it looked, as you say, it looked like a good time. I was just having a good time talking shit, shooting the shit. That's what bros do, I thought.
And then that's when the energy shifted at this moment, right?
Right at this moment.
But if you want to make a professional fool of your motherfucking self running up against a demon, go ahead. Fuck
who you talking to, man?
Ain't rap yet. Y'all ain't
rap.
None of them niggas rap.
Lou, listen. Before you say something stupid, Mook and them called you.
Say something stupid.
I ain't bringing this
Lux
up. Mook and them called you.
Lux called me. Not
what the
Mook.
fuck?
The man just took a bite of that steak, but it was right in there where it went left, and he was like, say something, like they're just talking. It was at the point where I showed everything. Like I said, this is Lux saying I'm going to call basically, and he made the call basically. So I kind of broke it all down basically for those who wasn't in the loop. But to me it got disrespectful when the bitch word came out.
Yeah,
and even to that point, I didn't understand.
Fucking ring then, bitch. If you got a motherfucking problem, who you think you fucking talking to, nigga?
All right, nigga.
You playing too much.
Okay. Stop.
Take some of that motherfucking bass out your voice, nigga.
I didn't understand, man. I still don't, and I don't understand where any of the blame is coming when you say disrespect. Like where? I didn't see it from Lupe. Like I said, that was him on every live.
Yeah.
Just hey, let's rap, man.
Let's rap.
You know, brought up the EO Dub. Speaking of, what do you think about EO Dub?
I like EO Dub. I mean, it's a part of New York culture, and I feel like you have to go to experience it. I don't think people should just, I don't think people should denounce it without at least experiencing it one time. And I felt like people just kept downplaying EO Dub as this place where guys go and do wild stuff, and it's just like, nah, why don't you guys go and just at least check it out before you talk down on something, but they didn't want that. But I've been through EO Dub. I've hosted, I've performed there. It's a great place to be. I have nothing bad to say about EO Dub.
So you didn't win it?
I never was in the challenge.
Oh, okay. You performed like Mickey Factz performed. Okay.
Yeah. I performed as a performer there, but it was never like, yo, I'm trying to be competing or anything like that. Those guys, they reached out to me to perform.
So when you hear Lupe talking about, hey, if you're saying you're the best, here is a way to prove it. Like without something like that, it's literally just your feelings basically. Now I've heard you also mention that a lot of people can be the best in a certain moment.
Yes, I still maintain that stance. I feel like, I think I said it on the Math Hoffa show, the new one that's coming out, like Jadakiss was the best rapper in the world during that Madison Square Garden situation. He was the best rapper in the world at that moment.
The verses?
Yes.
Okay. I think that's out already. That's where I heard it. I heard you say exactly that.
He was the best rapper at that moment. I feel like when Wraith dropped, I was the best rapper at that moment. But it's nothing. I don't think you can just maintain that over time. It just shifts. It always shifts and it always will shift. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like I feel like it's okay, in that moment. Here we go. Okay.
I have no direction, man. We can get ready to, wash it up, cut it at some point, but we're gonna cover all bases at this point. So best at the moment. So when Wraith dropped, you felt that made you the best at the moment. So basically, it sounds like best is what's relevant at the time.
At that time, yes. So the day that dropped, that night, and then that following day, I was the best rapper at that moment. Okay,
so it almost sounds like an old sports term that gets used, and it sounds like you may be transposing that onto the rap game as well. Is you're only as good as your last bar, basically.
Yeah, and
your last song,
your last moment.
Right. Okay, and then somebody else come top that the very next moment.
And that's perfectly fine. Like that's supposed to happen, I feel.
Got it. Side note, Tory Lanez and Cassidy. What are you making of that right now?
Tory
checked it out at all?
Yeah, Tory has to respond, man. Like that's the reality. He's in a bind right now. He has to respond. Like, come on. Like, enough.
Going from there, do you think you say Tory has to respond? Do you hold that same stand? If Mickey Factz was someone else and that rap was rapped to Royce from someone else, regardless of status, does Royce have to respond?
If it wasn't me and the same reaction happened, I would feel that yes, he has to respond, and I do feel like he's going to respond. It's going to be on his own time when he wants to do it.
Out of left field, then
it's going to happen randomly. It's going to. I stopped waiting.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping for 7 days later, but it's been 3.5 weeks. I don't think he's going to say anything now. He's going to say it's going to happen. It's just going to be very random when he finally does decide to come outside.
So do you think there's any chance he responds to Lupe still?
I have no clue.
The term, again, disrespect got thrown out for Lupe's diss, right? He said it was disrespectful. You niggas got to get mad to rap, like, which brings me to the first diss track that came out was Lambda, Lambda, Lambda. And this rap seminar highlights the most disrespectful bar from Royce to 5'9" was shoot your son while holding a sun chip with a chip on your shoulder, or something like that. Are you aware of that bar?
Yeah.
When I heard that bar, because it was a Lupe diss, I kept trying to tie that bar to Lupe somehow, and it just wasn't working because Lupe doesn't have kids to my knowledge.
Right. So
I understand you have a son.
Yeah.
Which means that bar kind of made you a as they say, a casualty of war, basically.
Yeah.
So how did you feel hearing that bar? Did you know immediately that bar was aimed at you?
No. I didn't, again, I've battle rapped, so like it was like whatever. But I didn't take any offense to it. But there were people who were saying that bar potentially may have been for me. So, I was very intentional in asking him, was it for me? And he decided that it was for me. So I said, okay, well, now the gloves is off. Let's have this discussion.
Okay. So some people do find it to be offensive when you threaten shooting someone's kid. It's like kind of spoken words, basically. Like you don't threaten someone's kids, basically. So Lupe being your bro, he responds to that. You'll shoot someone's son while holding sun chips. I wish they'd have left Biz and took you. Like it's like one disrespectful comment brought upon another, basically. Yes. Did you feel that? So still being battle rap, you're not going to find issue with either one of those, basically.
No, it's all
rap.
It's all part of rap. That shit is light.
So yeah, So why would one side just get up and all over it? Like that's disrespectful. You don't talk like that. Like what's up with that?
These guys are not battlers. So their words mean a little bit more than, battlers get paid a lot of money to stand there and take that kind of abuse. These guys are doing it for free, and the words actually mean a little bit more, and they mean something to people. So yeah. I didn't care. Like when I first heard it, I didn't think anything of it. I got a phone call. Somebody was like, yo, you need to say, you need to respond because I think that's for you. I asked for Royce about it. He said, when I wrote it, it wasn't about you, but you know what? Why don't you take that and be intentional about your response? And I said, okay. Then he got mad at my response.
Yeah, it was too disrespectful. But now he kept saying you got to check boxes. Has anyone figured out what check boxes means yet? I mean, I know you checked a lot of boxes. That's what morticians do,
Hey man, I still don't know what's going on.
I was listening. I'm like, what the fuck is check box? What boxes? Like
everybody wanted to know, and he didn't want to answer. I was being trolled, so I said, okay, well, we're gonna do this how I know how to do this. This is the only way I know how to
rap.
Right, is rap. So, and I'm from
you checked a lot of boxes in that rap, literally. Like mortician, what other? You remember them other boxes? Boxes, and I was like, oh shit, okay, we getting down right there. But
boxes, yeah.
This rap seminar, I seen you post this on your Instagram.
I didn't post this one, but this one is a pretty good one. This is the stats from all of us.
All three of y'all, like the trio. which as I'm seeing, I'm like, man, that could have been a pretty devastating little rap group.
Yeah.
Just from watching, it's like I don't, and even a rap seminar, like the way they kind of broke all this down, I was like, wow, like just like seeing some of the stats, like average amount of rhymes per bar is like all of y'all, like it's crazy.
I came in second place.
Rhymes per bar.
Yeah, I'm in second place, 4.7.
That's per bar.
That's per
rhymes
bar.
per, like that's what I say. Like, do you intentionally write like that?
No.
It just. I spoke to Osiris in an interview with Osiris. And he said it's pretty much the same thing. He said divine. It was his exact word. It's divine when you're just sitting there writing and it just comes together basically.
Yeah.
But there was a couple categories you won as well. Now, one thing that kind of jumped out was the amount of multi-syllabic rhymes, and
I came in second place again.
So they did an overall, like who had the most first places, but I wonder if they did. I might have to go look. I'm gonna do that once we get off. As far as overall, who had the most first and most second place and most third places, and I think that's what they should have done to create a full winner.
I mean, it's clear that I won, and it's I clearly won, like, because when you look at it from a standpoint like of everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty close, right? Like these numbers are not like blown out of proportion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we all can rap. The only one that's blown out of proportion is Entendre.
That was yours.
That was mine. And it was gaping. It was like I had like 37 or something.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I did a reaction to this, and I was like, my man Mickey Factz and Entendres is a major part of rap, basically.
Yeah,
and I was like, you doubled them plus one. I
tripled them. Well,
18 together, 18. You right. Okay? You tripled Royce. Well, you tripled them individually, so I added them together and still said together you still doubled them.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
That's my expertise. My expertise is Entendre.
Okay.
So, everything else is just a caveat. So because everything else is just a caveat, as you can see, I still kept up with everybody. I'm either second or first. And if I'm third, I'm just like right there. But look. It's right there.
I see it.
It's there.
I see it. Which is crazy. Can you confirm Lupe freestyled that though?
Lupe definitely freestyled that.
He freestyled it.
He didn't write one thing down.
So
he did it in 3 hours. So he probably, off the top, recorded it, stopped, thought about something, recorded it, stopped, recorded it, stopped. As opposed to, obviously Royce wrote that beautiful. I think Silence of the Lambda is beautiful. I think it's a beautiful piece of art. I've maintained that standpoint. I thought that was beautiful.
So if you were ranking all three, go with your butt.
But Lupe freestyled it, and I don't know how long it took Royce to write that. I can't speak to that. I wrote mine in 20 hours.
That's fast.
That was quick.
That was real fast.
Yeah, and that's me eating, sleeping. I wrote that in 20 hours.
Yeah, that's fast. How would you rate these three? One, first, second, third.
I would rate. It's tough, man. It's depending on how you're looking at it. Right?
How you yourself, not how anyone else is looking at it.
I would rate it. Mine's first. I think Wraith shook up the culture. I would rate Lupe second because it was a freestyle. He did that shit in 3 hours. That shit is crazy. He did that in 3 hours. And then I would rate Royce last, but being third is not a bad thing. He had a magnificent joint is crazy from a rap standpoint.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It's incredible. I
I still think the fact that Lupe was, because he won a couple categories as well, and to me it's hard to fathom that someone can freestyle like that and still be like, you wrote yours, Royce wrote his, and to still be kind of in the mix with a lot of things, to even take any categories.
Yeah, that's what Lupe does, man.
That's deep. What you got something dropping Friday, right? Album dropping?
It drops tonight. Yeah, because I actually have to head out and get ready for this next interview. I have a project with Blue from the West Coast dropping tonight at midnight with Knots. It's called The Narrative. For all of those that's checking it out, if you guys could pre-order it, that'll be great. It's only $7 to do that.
Where do they do that at?
On Apple iTunes, on the iTunes store. I would really appreciate everybody to just pre-order it. It's only $7. It's a great project. I hope people kind of check it out and really appreciate it and listen to it. It's really one of those ones.
Is it only on Apple Music?
It's on Google Play as well.
Okay, I'm gonna have to figure it out. I don't have actually either one of those. I have Spotify now and Tidal.
Yeah, you can still buy it, right? You have an Apple iPhone?
No, I have a Samsung.
Oh yeah, I don't think you could buy it then. So just pre-save it, listen to it tonight. Everything helps. But for those that have an Apple iPhone, it works well if you just purchase it. For people to kind of see that people are tuned in and tapped in for what's going on tonight. Are
you gonna be posting songs from it on YouTube anywhere?
Yeah, it'll be
video. You got videos?
Yeah, we got videos. The song with me and Asher Roth and Blue is out right now. It's called Rain.
That came out last week, right?
Yeah. We got a song called Stay Down that's dropping on BT Jams on Monday. So it's premiering there. So that'll be there for that.
Gotcha. Anything else you want to put out here, man? Put out into the universe?
Yeah, man. Buy The Narrative. $7. I appreciate everybody, man. Thank you very much. I'm glad that I was able to have this conversation with you, brother.
Appreciate it.
I'm about to get up and make some breakfast before this next interview. So much love to you, man. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for the reaction on Wraith. I really enjoyed it. And thank you for just being a good brother. It means
appreciate
a lot.
It, man. I'm gonna check out the album, man. I'll get with you soon, man. Appreciate you.
Absolutely, King. Peace.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You too.